When Said came to the border of Haifa, he felt a sense of sadness and thought that his wife also said. Neither of them had spoken since they left Ramallah, and besides, the air was unbearable hot. They both talked along the way, but when they came to Haifa's entrances, they felt silence and realized that they had never talked about the subject that had brought them to Haifa. They both came to Haifa after 20 years, and Said found himself saying, "This is Haifa, Safiya." Said realized that his wife was not listening to him and was looking out the window. "Safiya, I didn't think I would see this place again." Said, "You don't see it anyway. They show it." Safiya angrily, "What philosophy is this since morning? What's happening to you?" Said, "What's happening to me?" Said calmly, "When the occupation was completed, they opened the borders. You know, terrible things happened in April 1948. All these efforts to show us themselves and to enslave us. But you see that nothing has changed." Safiya, "So, why did you come?" He looked angrily at his wife because he knew Said was driving his car if he had never left. Said asked, "Where do we start?" his wife. Said realized that his wife was crying because this place reminded Safiya of her pain. Up ahead, a group of armed soldiers had barricaded. Seconds later, explosion and gunfire heard. At that time, Said recalled a memory. On the morning of Wednesday, April 21, 1948, while everything was going on silently, so suddenly an explosion and the sound of the gunfire were heard from the tops of Mount Carmel. In the city center, Said was on the coastal road to the roads closed while escaping. No, he was worried about his wife, whom he married 1 year and 4 months ago. While the clashes were going on, Said passing by and around the buildings to avoid being caught. While walking toward the side streets, he thought of his son Haldun and started to worry, but he never gave up and kept going home. People were trying to get a few belongings and get on the boat, but Said started to pass people by opening them up like a wave. The sounds of bombs, screams, and footsteps mixed together. He couldn't believe it had really 20 years. His wife looked tense, pale, and her eyes wet. Maybe Sophia was thinking about the she experiences that day. At that time, Sophia thought that her husband and Haisa were completely surrounded. After a while, she remembered that Haldun is in the cradle and started to go back home. On the way home, only one word came off his mouth, Haldun. When Sophia saw Said on the road, she had Haldun in her mind. She pretended not to hear what Said was saying, Sophia Haldun, because she thought that Said would you like at her again. Said, who did not keep quiet along the way, was silent when he arrived in Ramallah. A week ago, Safiya at their home in Ramallah. Safiya, while they are going to Haifa, why don't we go? Said student. Why? Safiya, to see our house. Said came to his wife and lifted her head. Said, Haldun. They hadn't spoken this name for years and they hadn't given to their other children. Said devices into distance and then said, I don't want to go to Haifa. And why should we talk to ourselves? They didn't say anything to each other all night, but in the morning, Sophia, don't go alone. If you are going, take me with you. This topic was not opened for a week, but last night said, tomorrow, let's go to Haifa and see. Paused for a moment and continued. Said, everyone is leaving, why don't we go? Sophia shivered out of the room, her face pale. 20 years ago, and now the same name rang in her ear. Haldun. Both fell silent as West Galima approached. While Said's memories were coming back to life in his eyes, he had seen her eyes vaguely in the features. His house still looked the same and Sophia started to cry. They got off the car and went to the door of the house and knocked on the door. An old woman named Miriam opened the door. Said, can we come in? Seeing that Miriam did understand. Said the name sentences in English. When they entered, they noticed that some of the items were in the same place. So she was looking around as if she was continuing things. Miriam, I have been waiting for you for a long time. Said, do you know who we are? Miriam, you are the owners of this house. Said, how do you know? Miriam, from photos. Miriam continued, Miriam, I am sorry it happened. I didn't think things would be like they are today. Said was thinking how to tell Miriam that she was innocent. Said, where and when did you come from? Miriam, I came from Poland on March 1, 1948. Said, we just here to look at our stuff. Miriam, I understand, but... Said, but this is terrible. At the moment, Said saw five peacock features in a vase in the middle of room. Said, there are seven features in the vase. What happened to the other two? Miriam takes the vase. I don't remember. Maybe Dove lost it when he played as a kid. But at the same time, Dove? Miriam, of course Dove. I didn't know who he was before, but he looks a lot like you. On Thursday evening, April 29, 1948, both Said and Safia got on the boat and their horse was arrested to Ibrat Kosan by the non-owned real estate desk. Ibrat Kosan had arrived in Haifa in early March. He first started in immigrant guest house, which was crowded with people. He looked at Hadi's house view from the balcony several times. There was constant sound of gunfire and explosions. On the one hand, he was dreaming. The war lasted from Wednesday morning to Tuesday evening. They could not go out for 2 days. On the day they came out, they came across a Jewish Sabbath. At the moment he noticed that his wife's eyes are filled with tears. Miriam, I am crying for something else. Yes, this is a real Sabbath. Everything changed for his wife when she was two young men dumping the body of an Arab boy in the truck in the Haganah. Miriam pointed the man to her husband. Look, it was that Arab boy. I saw it. Ibrat Kosan, how do you know he is an Arab boy? Miriam, if it was a Jewish kid, they wouldn't have thrown it in the truck. Miriam lost her father 8 years ago. When she came home, she met her brother, but he fled when he saw the German soldiers. They killed her brother because he couldn't escape. Miriam had decided to go back, but her husband said a week later that he had rented a house in Haifa. On Tuesday evening, April 22, 1948, towards lunchtime, the upstairs neighbor of Said's found a baby downstairs and took it to the Jewish office. Abraham Hussein, who arrived at the time, adopted the baby. Miriam was happy because she had a child now. They entered the Said's house on Thursday, April 29, 1948. On the same day, Said and Safia tried to return to Haifa but were unsuccessful. They were both looking around and listening to Miriam's story. Miriam was walking around the house. Safia, as if in your house? Miriam turned to their side. But when will it arrive? Miriam, in fact, he will not come home late, just like his father. She looked at Said sadly. Safia, like his father? It's like has a father older than Said? Miriam, Mr. Said, it will be difficult after all this time, but we have to leave the choice to his. Said got up and started walking around the room. Safia came to the Said's side. Safia, this will be a fair choice. Anyway, Haldun chooses in our family, said laughing out loud. Which Haldun, Safia? No, he has changed. Let's go out of there. They stole him. Safia, we didn't leave him, you know that. Yes, we shouldn't have left anything. Haldun will not rejoin us, you will see. Safia began to cry, explaining. When her crying stopped, said, do you know what happened to Faris al-Lubde? Safia, our neighbor? Said, yes, do you know what happened to you when you visited in your Jaffa? Safia, did he go to the Jaffa? Safia, Said, Faris left a week ago. He knocked on the door of his house and a man opened the door and came in. He was surprised when he came in because the things were in the original place. In fact, the picture of his brother Bedri, who was martyred, was hanging in the same place. While they are sitting inside, the man's two sons arrived. Man, my sons are Bad and Bedri. Faris, Bedri? Man, yes, because we were so attracted to your brother that he became one of the family. As Faris got up and left, he also took his brother's picture, but a few minutes later he brought the picture back because he couldn't separate her from the family. The family was glad to get the picture back. Then Faris set off. They heard an angst coming down the street. Miriam, here's Dawn. Sophia answered excited. Dawn went up the stairs into the house and called out, Mom? His mother came up to Miriam and said something. Miriam, he asks why I am in the living room at this hour. Miriam, there are people who want to see you. When Said saw Dove, he was surprised because Dove was his Jewish soldier. Said reproachfully, was what a surprise? Sophia was starting to cry. Miriam, I'd like to introduce you to your own parents. Dove's face is flushed. I don't know anyone but you and my father. Said was trying to calm Sophia down at the time. Everyone looking at each other. Don't. Why are they two here? Don't say it for me. Miriam asked them. He turned to Said and said, what do you want, sir? Said, nothing. It's just a curse to you. Dove got up and wandered around the room. Dove, no, that's impossible. Said, so you are in the army. With whom and why are you fighting? Said, you can't ask these questions. You are from the opposite side. Said, am I on the opposite side? Said, lodged. Though I don't see anything to lodge about. Said, I see it. The atmosphere became quiet for a moment. Sophia, don't you feel that we are your parents? Though we need to talk of the like civilized people. Said Lord, do you want a compress or not? Though I have been Jewish since I was little and that didn't change when I found I was Arab. And why? It's about people. Said, who told you? Though what? Said, that the matter is human. Though I don't remember. Why do you ask? Why do you ask? Said, it was out of the question and crossed my mind. Though that it's about people? Said, absolutely. Though then why did you come looking for me? Said, I don't know. Though I have always thought, how can a mom and dad leave their kids? Tell me so. Said, no. Though I don't know. I don't know you too. And it's against I don't feel anything special. Said, obviously, your first battle will be a monster named Khalid. He's my son. If you know what I didn't say, he's your brother. Said was the aware that Khalid was not soldier and that he was lying. At the moment, he regretted that Khalid did not allow him to become a soldier. Said looked at Miriam. Said, you didn't tell him the truth. We have lost him, but he's definitely lost himself too. Said and Dove continued to talk and argue for a while longer, but they both understand that he wouldn't accept them and wouldn't come with them. They both left that house right away. On the way, Said looked at his wife. Said, I beg you, Halt will be gone while we are gone.